I used to interview unstoppable women who reminded me of the original pasionaria Emma Tenayuca and of my mother who led with her passion and drive to build an empire. Women who built businesses while raising kids, who stepped into male-dominated industries, who came from nothing and built a legacy. But what I've learned from this season is that even unstoppable women have seasons where they stop. And stopping is not failing. Bienvenidos a Somos Pasionarias. Welcome to Somos Pasionarias, where we talk about women who are changing lives and leaving legacies by pursuing their passions. My name is Elena Contreras Barnett. I'm a pasionaria and your host. Juntas, Somos Pasionarias. Join me to meet some amazing women and explore what it means to live your passions and realize your dreams. Hola, pasionarias. It's been 2 years. I've missed you, and I have missed podcasting. I know you might be wondering where I went, why I stopped, what happened. I've recorded this episode in my head more times than I can count, and I think I'm finally ready to tell the story. I wanted to let you know I haven't disappeared. I just needed to step away from podcasting for a while, but I'm here with you now, and I wanted to talk to you openly and honestly about why I disappeared. I didn't disappear because I stopped believing in this community. I didn't disappear because I stopped believing that what I have to say and the women whose voices that I have to share are valuable. I disappeared because life shifted in a way that I wasn't prepared for. And as I adjusted to that shift, there just wasn't room for this podcast. If you've ever had a season where the plans changed, this episode is for you. Let me tell you, friends, if you know me, you know that I have always been a planner. Give me a scrap of paper while I'm monitoring detention and I will sketch out my spring garden or make my grocery list. My mind is always looking forward and my golden years are no exception. I had everything planned out for when and how I would retire from teaching. First, I would take the skills that I had honed as a teacher and my passion for my beautiful city, and I would get my real estate license. I'd sell real estate for a few years while Greg finished out his career. And on the side, I would invest my time and my other passions into growing Somos Pasionarias into an amazing community of women upholding each other and develop my skills as a speaker and a writer. In our free time, we would explore Mexico and decide where we wanted to semi-retire, someplace with our feet in the water and our butts in the sand. And I would work on building real estate relationships there so I could keep myself busy and get to meet new people. I believed that I was a woman filled with multiple passions and there was no stopping me from exploring and achieving them all. I was a pasionaria. I thought I was building the second half of my life so intentionally. Mexico part-time, real estate across the borders, podcasting, powerful Latinas. I could see this in my mind's eye, and I was putting all of the pieces in place. And then Dallas happened. After 25 years with a major telecommunications company, surviving a possible transfer 5 years ago, the other shoe dropped. In order to stay with the company and continue working towards his retirement, my husband had to move to Dallas. I tried, believe me. For several months, I tried to keep the plan going, to be an active realtor building relationships in San Antonio, to keep podcasting, all the while traveling back and forth between Dallas and San Antonio. And you know how bad I-35 is, right? Every other weekend, just trying to keep our marriage connected. Financially, it was a huge setback to have to pay rent in a high cost of living city when we had worked so hard to pay off our house. Real estate-wise, I just couldn't keep up with the schedule of open houses and showings every weekend when I was driving to Dallas one weekend and entertaining my husband in San Antonio the next. Finally, I just gave in. An opportunity appeared in Dallas that would allow me to stay in Dallas earning an income that was the best move for my teacher retirement. And so I went back into the classroom to teach 6th grade social studies. And if you've ever taught middle school or you know a middle school teacher, you know that the last thing that I wanted to do after a long day of teaching was edit a podcast. And during that same season, as we were adjusting to the move, our family was hit with a serious health challenge that required our full presence. There were responsibilities, travel, long conversations, fear, and uncertainty, and moments that just reshaped our priority. The move had challenged us, the family health crisis had required us, everything else went on hold. All our future plans. And in seasons like that, you learn very quickly what matters and what can wait. And I chose to prioritize being present over being visible. I stepped away from the podcast. I stepped away from building. I focused on getting through one day at a time. I'm not going to lie. Many of my earlier struggles with my mental health came to the surface as I mourned the loss of my plans and even the loss of who I was. So much of my sense of self had been tied to this future that I had planned. That loss of visibility, that uncertainty, caused me to question my identity more than ever before. I had to turn my focus into getting grounded again. So, what did I learn from this season? I learned that so much of my identity had been tied to where I was, and I had to learn who I was. I had wanted my face on for sale signs and podcast banners, and I thought I couldn't be somebody unless people recognized me at events and on the street. But I don't have to be visible to be successful. Success in this chapter in my life means peace. There's no boxes to check or milestones to be had beyond just doing what makes me happy. Success in this chapter means being, whatever that may be and however that may change. By the way, did you know that I changed my major 4 times while I was at UTEP? I was going to be a journalist, then a business manager. I even thought about law school before settling on education. I'm a master at reinvention. And also, the reason that I chose education was because it would give me the gift of time. Time with the ones I loved, my little babies at the time. And yet here I was, 25 years later, spinning the hamster wheel, trying to be the best at so many different things, when what I'm really good at is being with the people that I love. I also had to learn that sometimes in order to shift, you need time. The 2 years since I've podcasted grew me into the me that I am today. I had to stop to rest, to recalibrate, to restore. And as I'm writing this, we got another wrench thrown into the plan. That's a whole nother episode, but I'm okay with it. Reinvention doesn't have to be linear. So maybe we take a couple steps back before we step forward into the sunset. But each time we're going to emerge a little clearer with where we should be and how we will get there. I used to interview unstoppable women. Women who reminded me of the original Pasionaria Emma Tenayuca and of my mother who led with her passion and drive to build an empire. Women who built businesses while raising kids, who stepped into male-dominated industries, who came from nothing and built a legacy. But what I've learned from this season is that even unstoppable women have seasons where they stop. And stopping is not failing. Sometimes stopping is just surviving. Sometimes stopping is recalibrating. So 2 years later, I'm back. What's different? Well, I'm still a realtor. I still believe in building wealth and options. I no longer believe that building has to come at the expense of being well. My focus in this next chapter of real estate is going to be on building connections. I still plan to be your Mexican-bound bestie and know all the best places to get the freshest fish tacos in Puerto Vallarta, and also where to find the best real estate investments should you choose to join me down there on the beach. I still have amazing real estate relationships in San Antonio, El Paso, Austin, and Dallas, and I can answer your questions about those markets and connect you with amazing top-level realtors whenever you're ready to buy or sell. And although I still plan to walk away again someday from the classroom into the sunset, I'm still focused on being an amazing teacher and sharing my passions about world cultures with my students and my years of education experience with my colleagues. My dreams are a little bit different today. I still have plans, but more importantly, I have peace when and if those plans should change. I have clarity about who I am and where I need to be. I'm not the same woman who recorded season 1. And that's a good thing. So this next season of Somos Pasionarias will look a little bit different. Some interviews, some solo reflections, but more honest conversations about reinvention. If you're in a season that doesn't look like what you planned, you're not behind. You're becoming. Let's explore who we're becoming in this next season together. I'll see you on the next episode, Pasionaria.